So today, the second day of development. So far yesterday, what we have done is we have discussed about our development course, how we are going to cover all the things, UI development and logic development, integration, everything. And also we have seen why the Visualforce page and what is a Visualforce and what are the tags will be there. Like Visualforce is nothing but a HTML tags, but how to differentiate it? Visualforce page will have, which starts with the apex colon. The tag which starts with apex colon is nothing but that is a Visualforce tag. The one which does not have a tag with the apex colon, that means that is a HTML tag. So yesterday we have written one simple program, my new VF page, and we have just written some sample text yesterday, right? Now, in order to see the output, in the same page and same page development, go to your user, click on my setting, and then go to the advanced user details. In the advanced user details, click on edit button. Once you click on an edit button, you will see one option called debug mode and show views in development mode. Show view state in development mode. Okay, so these two options has to be enabled. Once it is enabled, go to the setup, search for Visualforce page. Search for Visualforce page. So if you open any Visualforce page from here, click on preview. So you will see the output on top, and we have the code at the bottom. So I can write the same thing. This is my first Visualforce page on second day. And I click on save, it will refresh on top page. So that means at the same page, I can do the coding as well as I can see the output. So in case if you wanted to deactivate, disable this debugging part. So this is the option to disable development mode. This is the option to disable the development mode. And this is a save button. In case if you wanted to close, you can close this. And this is a save button. And if you wanted to go to any specific line, now you are at second line you wanted to go. So what it will do, it will take you to the second line. So this is helpful in case if you have a larger code and if you wanted to debug and understand what is each line is doing, comparing with the output and the code, right? So in order to enable the debug mode, go to your user profile. Go to your user profile, settings, and advanced user details. My settings, in the personal, advanced user details. And there are two options. Click on edit on user page and enable the debug mode option. And the second one is show view state. So second one is show view state in development mode. Enable this. Once you enable these two, then you have to click on go to the Visualforce page from here. Go to the Visualforce page, setup, Visualforce pages. Okay, open any Visualforce page and click on preview. Then only you can see it. But in case if you are opening the page from the developer console, click on a preview here. If you are opening the page from the developer console, you will not see the debug mode. Debug mode is only available when you open the page from Salesforce page, Salesforce UI itself. From the developer console, you will not be able to see the debug mode. Clear? So let's go to the program that we have written yesterday. So yesterday we have written, what is the show header here? We have discussed the show header and the sidebar. What is the show header? What it does, show header equal to?
Which is in the page.
What about sidebar?
Sidebar is the left side bar, which has the setup and everything. The recent items.
Right. So show header is nothing but if you are in a classic and if you are trying to preview the information, so what will happen? It will show the header, this entire box. So whatever on top, we could see the profile details, Salesforce icon and Salesforce.com icon and Salesforce, whatever this header part is there, home tab, everything. So by default, it is going to show this header and this sidebar options also it will appear. In case if you do not want anything, then we have to mention show header equal to false and sidebar equal to false. Right? And as soon as we create it, by default, what will happen? Apex : page. So whatever we have to write within this tag. Opening of Apex : page and closing of Apex : page. Now there are 107 commands are there in Visualforce page. So if you type here Apex : there are 107 commands are there. But whatever is needed right now in the current market, only we will go through only those. We will not go through the all of them because right now everybody is more interested in Lightning Aura and LWC. But there are few projects which are going for the Visualforce. There are some scenarios which they have to go to Visualforce. Okay, so in those scenarios, what are the main thing that is required? We will cover only that part. So once you
can you elaborate on what all scenarios you need Visualforce?
Okay, so let's take an example. On the Facebook or on the Instagram, we get an advertisement. As soon as you click on that advertisement, it goes to the site. So from the site, you have to fill certain information on their site. Let's take example of Volkswagen or Skoda. Okay, so when you are searching for some car or when you're searching for some vehicle, so once you do 3-4 times, by default, Google is going to show you that options automatically when you go to any other page. So you click on Volkswagen page or Skoda page. As soon as you go there, they request to test drive. So they request for the test drive. So you can fill the form related to test drive. So that form, whatever the form, what we are doing here, we are not going to the Salesforce. I am going to the Volkswagen site. That is not a Salesforce site. Within the Volkswagen, within the Skoda site or within the Yamaha or some site, inside that we are registering the Salesforce page.
So basically it's web 2 case.
Yes. So web to lead or any page, it's not only the web to lead, from third party also if you wanted to get. So basically that page we have to embed with the third party system. So in order to embed, we have to generate some kind of a Visualforce page. For that, we have to implement a public URL, everything we have to do. So that's
Basically
all
you create
together.
a site, you create a site on our system and then embed it on their website or whatever system they are
Right.
using.
So on that site backend, we have to go with the Visualforce page because that is a basic fields we are going to show them.
And are those, when you say that we have to go with Visualforce pages, but one issue which I see is in those is they are not very compatible with mobile. You know, some
They are not
users are
compatible with mobile. Yes, that's true. But from the Visualforce page, you can call the Lightning Aura also.
no, that good to good to know that is a
Yeah.
good
So
example.
there are different, definitely there are few scenarios, or this is one of the scenario, and we have another scenario also. Like there are different scenarios where at least they need a minimum knowledge on the Visualforce page.
Mhm.
So that minimum knowledge, what are the tags or what are the commands we need it, we will go through those commands. And once you are keen with those commands, you will get to know other commands, all other 107 commands. Okay, so right now we have here apex colon. So let's go with the page block. So let's try to understand within the page, I'm inserting apex colon page block. Apex colon page block. What is the page block does? Page block is whatever this page is there. The page block command divides the page into blocks. Divides the page into blocks. So let me show you that. Okay, so right now I have added the page block. Let's give a title to page block. Title equal to general information. Now let's save and see the output. Click on preview. See here, page is divided into the blocks. Now you will not understand right now because I have added only one. Let me add more page blocks. Family information. Personal information. So refresh. See here, the page is divided into the different. Anybody has any question? The page is divided into blocks. Now, when I hit enter preview, what will happen here? Now, developer console sits into the force.com, right? So developer console is here. I'm just clicking on the preview button. As soon as I click on preview button, I see this is the output. I see this is the output. So what happens exactly? So let me go to the paint. So this is my Visualforce page. My new VF page. And the extension is .vfp. This is my VF page. And I have some code here, which is written apex page block. Apex colon page block. We are closing this Apex colon page block. So we have this page block multiple times. We have this page block multiple times. And what will happen? This is entirely on developer. This development is in the force.com. Now I have a button here, which is called as a preview. I have a button here, which is called as a preview. So I have a button called preview. Now when I click on a preview, my Salesforce is here. My Salesforce here. This is Salesforce is not in the force.com. My Salesforce is okay. So Salesforce here. So what happens when I click on a preview? When I click on a preview on force.com platform, I'm clicking on a preview. When I click on a preview, so what will happen? This force.com is going to connect with Salesforce. This is going to connect with Salesforce. How it is going to connect it? By passing the ID. It will pass, because how Salesforce will know why force.com is trying to talk to me. So force.com, while talking to the Salesforce, it will say, this is my ID. I'm passing the ID. So every Visualforce page or every component or every class will be having a one unique identifier ID. So this ID, which ID? This is the Visualforce page ID, which is going to pass it to the Salesforce. And what Salesforce does? Salesforce take that ID. Salesforce does not understand that ID. So what it will do? It will go to the database. It will go to the database. It says that I have received some database. I have received some ID. Can you please convert that ID into whatever the name it is there and send me back those details? So what it will happen? It will take the ID and related to that ID, whatever the name or whatever the information that has, it will pass back to the Salesforce. So name of the class. And from where it is getting it? From the force.com. So which is on Apex. So whenever I open the page, what will happen? It will give me Apex / my new VF page. What is my new VF page? That is my Visualforce page component. My new PF page. So this is Apex / my ID. Now, as soon as that ID is redirected to Salesforce, so what will happen? So as soon as it takes the ID, first it will load the information. Now, after loading it, after loading the data, what will happen? First, it will go to the Apex page. It will go to the Apex page. The first command which is trying to get is Apex page. Apex page has side header equal to false and sidebar equal to false. So it try to remove the side header and sidebar. Then it will go to the inside Apex page block. How many blocks it has? It look for how many blocks it has. It has 3 blocks. It has 3 blocks. So this page has a 3 blocks. That means it will understand I have to divide the page into blocks and there is a title for the blocks. So the execution will be preview is the first step. And then force.com is going to talk to Salesforce by passing the ID. And then Salesforce will try to connect information with the database to get the actual information. So once I have this, everything is done within fraction of milliseconds. We will not even know that what is happening at the backend. Now, once this connection is done, then it will go through the code, because right now it got the information about the which page we are trying to display. So now here the first thing which it will get executed is apex page, the outer. Then it goes into the what are the information it has. So right now it has only apex page block, that is a 4.1. And how many blocks are there? 3 are there. So 4.2 and then 4.3. Now this is how it displays the information when I click on a preview. This core.apexpages.request dev console, this all by default, it will come for any page, any Visualforce page you are opening it. This after the question mark, this is by default, it will be shown core.apexpages.request.dev console equal to 1. But only the change that is going to happen based on the ID is your Visualforce page name. Because how the Salesforce will know whatever, whenever you click on it, we are doing the preview on somewhere else in the post.com developer console. Now, when I click on a preview, how this Salesforce know like on which Visualforce page or which one you are clicked on the preview. There are multiple pages are open, which one it is clicked on preview. It will not know, right? So Salesforce does this, all of the things. So back end of this button, when I click on this preview, back of this button, when I click on this preview at the back end, what will happen on the button click, Salesforce has written some logic to capture the ID of the Visualforce page and pass it to the Salesforce. That gets from the Salesforce, it will take the database to we are going to get the actual Visualforce page name. So that's how it is going to happen in the backend, but we will not be aware, because as soon as I click on a preview, within a fraction of a second, there is a refresh will happen. Then it displays the information. Now refresh button is also written in the preview. Like once it is the 4.5 is done, fifth one is refresh. If you have a page already open, if you have this page is already open, then automatically preview will automatically refresh will happen. You need not to click on a refresh, come here and you need not to click on this refresh. In case your page is not open, then what it will do, it has a conditions on this. It check when I click on a preview, if all the logic is done, if the page is already open, then just do the refresh. In case the page is not open, open the latest logic that is written by the developer. Along with that, open the latest information in the browser. Is it clear how the logic gets executed? Any questions? Anybody has any questions? See, writing the development is very easy, but we have to understand the step by step how the logic is getting executed. Because once I know what is happening in the each line, I need not to see the output. Definitely the output will come for me. I know, because I know what is happening in the each line. So that level of confidence we have to bring it. So while writing the code, that is when you will get, when you have a full command on the coding. So when you have a full command on the coding, you need not to even see the output. You can imagine it. You can imagine by looking at the code. Now, this is the page block. Page block is nothing but page is divided into the blocks. Now we have given the information, title, general information, family information, personal information, right? So now let's go ahead and little bit divide this more in depth. Now we have a block. Inside the block, we have another command, apex colon page block section. Apex colon page block section. So what will happen if I write a page block section? Page block section is, it divides the block into section. Now you cannot write section outside. You cannot write section at the outside. So if you write outside, let me go ahead and save. Does it allow? So without blocks, now let me see how it is going to display. Now I have written page and then section, then blocks. Okay, now inside this section, I'll give title. Title equal to general information, let's say contact information. Okay, now let me go ahead and click on preview. A page block section component must be contained within the page block component. Here it allowed me, it did not give any error in the problem. But while execution, what it is saying that whatever the component you have written, it's not in order. You have written first block section, then you have written the block. So that's what it is saying me. A page block section component must be contained within the page block. So it is requesting me to add this page block section into page block. This is the hierarchy, page block section. Now if I click on save, see here, within the general information, it gave me the contact information. Contact information. Let me add more details here. Contact information, address, personal information. Do I have, this is the personal information. Let me take this relative. Right, see here, it automatically refreshed and it is showing me the contact information, address information, personal information. And I can hide this if I do not want to see the output. This is automatically given by the Salesforce. This is similar like a page layout in the Salesforce Classic. If you have seen any page, so this is the new section. So in this new section, if I can click on this, hide, what will happen? It will close all the information, right? So similar way, I can do this here. Let me add some text here. So contact information, name, phone, mobile number, email ID. Okay, so let's save this. Let's see. Okay, everything came in one line because by default it will take it in one line. Let me put into the break. Break is the HTML tag. It is not a Visualforce tag. So we can use the HTML tags within the Visualforce. So now I have this information. Now I can close this. So similar functionality can be applied here by using the page block section. Right? Now how the logic get executed? How the logic get executed here now at the back end? What will happen when I click on a preview right now?
It will connect to Salesforce using the ID, Visualforce page ID. So, and then the Salesforce takes that ID and it will send a request to the database to convert the data and send it back. So, and then, so then it receives the data based on the name of the class. That is a Visualforce, name of the page.
Okay, but the logic, how the logic get executed, that is a connection. Once the connection is made between the developer console and Salesforce, once it is established, how the logic get executed in the program. Shruti? Shruti, are you there?
Yeah, ma'am.
How the logic get executed in the, what will happen in this program?
First, we are dividing the page by using blocks. In that, we are creating sections.
3 sections, 1 page.
Okay, if I write this program from 4th to 9th line, I'll cut this. Okay, I'll write it here. What will happen?
It will not work.
Yes, yes.
Why?
Should the page
It
block
works.
section should be within the
Oh,
page block component.
Yes, there is no page block.
Okay. How about now?
Yeah, it will work
It works.
because it is in between the page block component.
Okay, so we have to keep the page block section within the page block. Is everybody clear on execution part, how it is getting executed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Swapna, quickly, if I want to comment 4 or 5 lines,
Mhm.
is that possible? Like, in Fix you do that. And
Yeah, so let's take, that is the next thing which I'm going to talk about. For example, today the business requirement is they wanted to see general information, family information, relative information. But tomorrow they will come up saying that I do not want the family information here because family information anyway it covered in the general information. So I do not want this block. So what we can do is, if it is a normal developer, anybody, what they will do is simple, straightforward. What they will do, right click, otherwise delete it. This is what we do. We delete the code. We delete the code. That's what we do it. I suggest do not do that. Do not do that. So for time being, till it goes to the production, till they are comfortable with that, what you can do is you comment out. So commenting out less than exclamation dash dash dash, then closing is dash 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 greater than. This is the commenting. So let me save this and let's go back to see the output. Now here is the address personal. Okay, I have only 2 blocks, general information, relative information. Only 2 blocks are there. And if tomorrow they says that, no, I wanted to divide it back to the family information, then simply go ahead and then uncomment that information. So till we are confident that we have to take out the code, then go ahead and delete it. But in case if we have somewhere, anywhere doubt on the business requirement, do not delete it. Otherwise, take a backup and delete it. But I would suggest do not delete it. And whenever we are writing the program, whether it is a Visualforce page or Apex class, anything, it is always good practice anybody to put a comment saying that this is who has implemented, the person name. So name of the person and the date. Starting of this class, always put your name. Always put your name. And when you have written this Apex page. Okay, this is always good practice to do that. And also, if you are introducing any new command, or if you wanted to write a comments like why are we using the Apex page? What is the purpose here using the Apex page? The purpose is this is a page command and can be used only once. I cannot write again one more time Apex page bottom. I cannot do this. What will happen if I try to save? The markup in the document following the root element must be well formed. In nice way, it is scolding us. So this is not possible. We cannot add the page multiple times. This page can be used only once. This page command is used only once. And how about the page block? I don't know, I'm seeing it for the first time, page block. So what it does, I do not know. So write the comment. This divides the page in blocks. This divides the page in blocks. And what about the page block section? This divides the page block into section. Clear? So write the comments, like that is actually a good practice, putting your name and the date and what is the purpose of this class. It is good to put everything on the top. So commenting done this way. So once I comment whatever we have, that will not be shown on the page. We cannot view the commented information on the page. Clear? Now a couple of things with the Visualforce. Visualforce usage. What are the different places we can use the Visualforce? Overriding the standard button. I can override the standard button. That means on any record, whether it could be an object or like lead object or account contact, anything, we have a button called new button. So right now what will happen? As soon as I click on new button, Salesforce is showing this page to me with all the fields that are exist in that object. Now I wanted to customize this new form. I just wanted to show the new form, only last name, company, status, what are the mandatory information is there. Only those information I wanted to see. So what we can do, we can override the new button. How can we override it? Go to the view fields, and here is the button, links and action. Okay, so right now we are talking about new. Click on edit. As soon as you click on edit, it goes to the override standard button or link. Now you will have two options. By default, Salesforce Classic is showing the default view. But if you want a classic view to be Visualforce page, if you want a classic page, classic layout should be Visualforce page, then you can select those Visualforce page. Why it is not showing the Visualforce page, though I have here the Visualforce page? Because it shows only the one that are related to the lead object. Right now we are into the lead. So if I add standard controller, and object is lead. Let's save this and refresh. See here, it shows this. Right now I am into the lead object and buttons and links. In the button, I'm trying to replace the original to the Visualforce page, customized page. So that customized page, it will try to give you the what is the related page. Now what will happen here when I select this, how these things are going to come up. So as soon as we come to this page, first of all, Salesforce is going to filter out. If I have a 20, 30 Visualforce pages, out of 30 Visualforce pages, how many are really using the standard controller equal to lead? It will take out those pages. It will take those pages and display in the dropdown. This happens as soon as I click on it. Like if I click on buttons, and as soon as I click on edit, means on loading of the page, Salesforce does the logic to display the related Visualforce pages here. That means on load of the page, it is going to filter out and get it from the database and show the information here. Then we can override and select it, override and click on save.
So how many Visualforce pages can we create in an object?
There is no limitation as far as I know. Yeah.
Unlimited.
Sorry?
Unlimited, yes, unlimited pages.
Yeah, so yeah, unlimited maybe. So I have not seen that. Like we can create it as many as. Okay, so as many as we can create it, and related list, related Visualforce pages can be displayed. Now it's not only the new, we can do it on the edit button. We have a edit button. We can do it on the delete button. I can also do it on the clone. Whatever the standard buttons are there, everything we can override. Everything we can override. Also, we can override tab overview page. We can override tab overview page. So we have a we have a lead tab, account tab, contact tab, right? So we can override that. Also, we can define a custom tab. Define custom tabs. I can implement my own tab also. In that my own tab, I can put whatever the objects we want, we can put that. Okay, and yeah, that's all.
Dashboard and report dashboard also, am I right?
Yeah, we can create a dashboard components or custom help page. Custom help page is nothing but if you go to the Salesforce Classic, you will see help here. So as soon as you click on this, it will redirect you to the some page. So we can implement the custom help page. And we can create a dashboard also. We can also create a dashboard.
Interestingly, one more thing I saw is on LWC component. You know, you create a lightning component, you can add a visual force on top.
Yeah, that's true.
Is overriding a standard object that will work in the lightning page as well? Once
Standard.
will override.
Can you repeat that question?
No, once will override here, it will work in the lightning page as well.
Visualforce is only for the classic.
Okay.
So that's the reason when you override the button, it will give you the different options here. Do you want to override the classic? Then go for Visualforce. Do you want to override the lightning experience? There is a lightning component. Or if you want to go with the mobile override, there are different lightning components. Visualforce is only for the classic. It's not for the lightning.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, and whenever we update or whenever we add standard controller equal to lead, my page view gets changed. My page view gets changed. Before it was some dark color or something was there. It was not this color. What has happened? We did not change anything in the program.
It took the lead tab style.
Yes. So basically what will happen when we add a standard controller equal to lead, standard controller equal to contact, standard controller equal to account, means when I use the standard controller, it is going to take by default style of the lead. So right now lead has that. Now contact has a violet. Now what I'll do, I'll simply go ahead and update my standard controller to contact. Let's save this and see the output. See, it has changed. It has changed the tab style. Along with the tab style, it also takes the mandatory fields. Mandatory fields. Let's suppose on the contact, we have a mandatory field as last name. Without entering the last name, you cannot create a contact. That is mandatory from the object. Now here, whenever you are doing the standard controller equal to contact, and let's assume that you have a field which is last name. In case user has not entered the information last name and they click on the save button. So what will happen? It is going to throw in an error message saying that you have to fill. And it also shows the standard validations for the contact object. Standard required field, standard validation, standard styling, everything which is related to standard, what are the objects that we are referring in the Visualforce page, it takes that. Clear so far?
So when you say the standard contact, like the standard required field will automatically come on the page without
Yes.
putting it?
Fields does not come automatically. It doesn't mean that it does not, it comes. You have to mention the fields. Okay.
Otherwise it will show an error.
What I'm saying is only the validations. Like you have their last name on the page and user did not enter the last name. What will happen in the standard? Like I enter this information and I click on save. So what will happen? It is going to ask me that you must enter this value. Same functionality will happen in the Visualforce page also. This is required.
So while creating the Visualforce page, we have to include this field, right?
Yes. What are the
Okay.
mandatory fields are there? We have to include it. That is by default, we have to take it. If you
Okay.
do not want to display it for the user, there is another way also we can do it. We will discuss that.
Okay.
So in case if you do not want user to enter the last name, we can give a by default one value and hide that field. So what will happen whenever we are saving it, automatically that hidden value it is going to take it. So that is a further we are going to do that. That's no need to worry about it. So all the validations, whatever we have on the standard controller, it is going to take that.
And that also includes the custom validation you put in, or is only the standard system validation?
Standard, because if you want custom, you can take it. But right now what we are doing it, standard controller is nothing but I do not want to implement anything. I'm so lazy to implement all the validations and I do not want to do anything. Whatever the contact object behaves in the Salesforce, I'll do the same thing. But only my view, page view gets changed. Only the page view is changed, but rest all things, whatever the Salesforce standard things are happens, everything I wanted to do it here. I do not want to implement again that already Salesforce has. So that's how we use the standard controller.
Am I used for 2 objects at a time?
2 objects, no. Now tell me, how can you do the 2 objects? You are implementing a single Visualforce page. Okay, that Visualforce page you are implementing for a one object. Now how can I add contact comma lead? System itself is getting confused. Which one you are saying? Because contact has a different style, lead has a different style. Contact has a different validation, lead has a different validation. You are confusing me. System will say that you are confusing me. You have given 2 object names. Which one should I take it? I don't understand.
Okay.
So it says that contact comma lead is one object. It thinks that that is one object. So it says that contact comma lead does not exist. It is thinking that that is the object name, but it's not a truly object name.
Okay. Can I use custom objects in this standard controller?
Yes, we can use the custom object. So let me see what is my, I think I might be having some custom objects. Setup, object, click on objects. Let's go to the employee. So let me take this API name and instead of contact, let me put the employee. So what will happen? It will reflect the page related to the employee. So whether it is a standard object or custom object, just enter the API name of the object. So it will automatically take the styles. Any other questions?
Now I'm clear.
Okay. So
Madam, one question is there.
Yeah.
Madam, in single page, we are using that command set apex and all. Is there any option for adding external files? Like in HTML page, we are adding external CSS file by
Yeah.
using some commands.
Yes.
Is there any option?
Yeah, we can do that. We will discuss that further. We can include the
External file.
JavaScript library or everything. We can do that. Custom CSS styling, everything we can do. We will discuss that further. So this is the assignment trailhead. So this is a basic of the Visualforce page, creating a sample Visualforce page, just adding the apex page and giving a some name in between it. So that's it. And the second one is standard controller to the page, adding a standard controller to the page. So they have added here the standard controller contact, and there are some few things. If you are not clear about the meta head, we can go ahead and discuss this, but do this assignment. This is the trial head assignment. This is, and the third one is adding the form, just a normal form to the Visualforce page. So basically how to add the form to the Visualforce page. These all are straightforward and easy. So this is the trial head assignment. Now coming to the interview questions. What is the page block? What is the apex colon? Page. And how many times can I use apex colon page? What is the apex colon page block? And where do we use it? What is the apex colon page block section? And what is the purpose of apex page block section? How do you print normal text by adding the different paragraphs? Then coming to the assignment. Please note down these questions. And coming to the assignment. This is the assignment one. Implement a registration form by dividing the page into two blocks. Personal information, appointment date, and print the details of name, address, phone number, email in the personal information block, and in the appointment block, print date, time, and place. So this is a general, like you can print any name, that should be fine. You need not to have it. So first assignment is implement a page that divided into 2 blocks. One is personal information and second one is appointment date. And in the personal information block, print some data. Right? Name, address, phone number, email. And in the appointment, print the data, date, time, place. Second assignment. Implement a page. This is a registration page. This is house design page. Implement a house design page that divided into 3 blocks. Block 1, block 2, block 3. In block 1, divide into section. Kitchen, hall. Third assignment. Implement a standard lead page by using, basically you have to use the standard controller equal to lead. Implement a standard lead page that divide into 2 blocks. One is account information. Second one, contact information. In account information, print account, print account information, name, phone, email. Print contact information, name, phone, email. Clear? Any questions before I wind up? Because we are already 7 minutes late for the other class. Is everybody clear with the assignment, interview questions, and the trial head?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So let's go to the advanced admin. Thank you all.
Thank you.